Live from the top of the Gallo Mountain at Airfield Turlet. Each day, the skies here tell a new story. Welcome to our daily recap of today's highlights, from bold moves in the air to surprises on the field. Bringing you all the action, insights, and a few glider secrets, your host for tonight, Sander Terpstra.
And good evening, race fans. We have a packed Gallo Mountain again. What an audience. It was race day number 5 today. 5 race days, 5 out of 5. And there will be 2 race days left. On my left, my guests. The first one, Simon Schreuder. Short introduction about yourself.
Yeah, well, my name is Simon. I'm coming from the southern part of Germany, near Munich. I started flying even before I was 14 years old, maybe my whole life. When I grew up on the airfield, my parents were both flying, also my grandfather, and yeah, so maybe I started before I was 6 years old. And yeah, so far more than 4,000 flight hours, so I'm already quite experienced glider pilot, although I'm young. And yeah, really happy to be here and looking forward to the next 2 days.
Welcome to my table. And next to him is from Belgium, François Delfos. Quick introduction, François.
Yeah, so I'm François from Belgium. I'm quite different from Simon. So I'm 46. I started to glide at the Belgian Air Cadets, so doing 100 hours in a few years. So I started to do cross-country much later, actually, when I was 22. And then I entered competition. My first competition was the Belgian Nationals. I think I was 26, 27, so I never competed as a junior. And then little by little, I started to do more and more competition. And I did 3 VGCs over the last 5 years. And I have 2,500 hours.
In a lot of different classes, I heard.
Different
just
classes,
before.
yeah.
Okay, let's, before we talk about this day, you had quite a different day. Simon, a little more in front, and you a little bit more frustrating maybe, almost catching up with the group the entire day. But let's have a look at the short video of the grid walk of today.
Oh ja, wat een interview. Ik vond het echt heel leuk om te kijken.
Cumulus on the first and second leg, and after that they have to fly in the blue. Look at that side.
You are the dedicated sniffer.
The sniffer, yes. The sniffer crew. I'm flying the sniffer aircraft, the big, huge UFO sniffer aircraft. This is our club photographer. He will take the best pictures ever.
And Adam Woolley is a big fan of you.
Yes. Well, he generates a lot of views from my pictures, so it's fine.
Ready to go?
Yes, ready to go. Yeah, we have clouds. That's it.
Do you like my new microphone?
Much better than the other one, yeah? What is inside?
It has a special feature. Look. You want one?
Oh, yes. What is it?
Dutch cookie.
Dutch. Thank you.
Bas, what will be the speed?
120.
120.
120, of course.
120.
But the wind is quite heavy, so I expect around 105, 110.
Finally some cumulus.
Finally, where? It's only blue.
No, behind you. Look.
Oh, nice.
Tuil.
Hi.
Will it be north or south?
North.
The way back.
I understood the question. Yeah, north.
North?
Yeah, I'm guessing north. I think the south will be too far off track, or we'll see. Perhaps it's some guys will go a bit more to the south, but perhaps the middle is right. So perhaps some guys take a bridge too far. We'll see how it goes.
What will be the speed for today?
120.
Yeah, I was thinking when you asked it Jelmer, I thought 117, but he said 120, so it must be 120. 121.
To beat Jelmer.
Yeah,
121.
exactly.
Okay.
121.
121.
It takes a little bit effort with the car, but I took the nice weather with me.
The big car, trunk, loads of nice weather.
Yeah.
In the back and then drive it to the left.
Yeah, but unfortunately I also took the wind.
Oh.
And the wind is a little bit too strong, so...
You drove too quick.
I drove too quick.
Yeah, another great race. We are all having a lot of fun, and today for sure a little bit...
Trying to make a difference before the blue.
Yeah, and softer final glite.
Excited for today?
Yeah, we have clouds. I'm excited to fly below clouds.
And
hopefully they won't vanish before we...
No, they'll stay. Shoot. Race day 5. Excited?
Yes. Yeah, I'm always excited for race day.
Cumulus clouds?
Yes, for the first time this competition.
Oh my
So
God.
let's see what they can do with the cumulus clouds.
Almost launch time. Excited?
Yes.
What do you think of the average speed for today?
Average speed.
Yes.
Or 110 perhaps.
110.
Yeah.
And today you will take off in the Husky as well, I heard.
Oh man, one of my dreams.
Jeroen, P4 yesterday. What do you think of the upcoming competition? Jeroen? Jeroen? Okay, race fans, it is race day number 5. We have blue skies, we have the most beautiful cumulus clouds we have. It's lights out and away we go.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so far the video. You will have to look it back.
Oh.
Yeah, because the television is on the other side of the table. But the video, then back to today, because Francois, I was following you a lot. I can highlight different gliders, so every day my table guests, I highlight them and I try to focus on the strategy, the plan, how it all works out. And for me, it felt a bit like you were all almost there, but the entire day you lost. You were lower, like a couple of meters, and you couldn't really catch up. How did your day was from the
the
cockpit?
First, the second, and the beginning of the third leg, I was, I think, in the front leading group, so it was really working well. And then when we were approaching the blue, I tried to be a little bit more conservative. And I a couple of times I tried to do one more circle in the thermal, but actually it was a bad decision because the thermal decreased quite a lot. So I thought I still have 2.7, 2.8. I can do one more turn, and in the end I had only 1.5 on average. So I think that costed me 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, and so then I was disconnected from the rest of the group. So at the last turning point, actually, I was much lower. So I thought I cannot catch up the gaggle or the others by circling. So I put my micro D on 0.5 and tried to come back just by gliding as much as I could. And I'm curious, I haven't had the time to analyze it on CU, but I don't know if it paid off or not, if I could catch up a little bit or not. But in the end, yeah, I didn't make the top 10.
Close to the top 10, but almost. And for Simon?
Yeah, well, I was also in the leading group from the beginning on, so we had some clouds on the first and second leg. Maybe on the half of the third leg we had a period where it got blue, but most of the day we had signs in the sky where to go, and I was pretty aggressive because maybe it was the first day when I realized in the high speeds I might have a small disadvantage with the glider, but then I realized I climbed pretty good today. And so I could stay in the leading group with climbing well, and in the glide I lost a little bit.
And then your final glide came?
And then my final glide came. Unfortunately, like you showed the interview in the grid, I already said to myself, compared to yesterday, it need to be a little bit softer, the final glide, and not that aggressive. So yeah, I'm still a little bit speechless because a few kilometers before the control point at McCready Tour, it was above 200 meters plus on the final glide, and I never experienced such a bad period of sink, and I was almost not able to escape from that situation. I tried to go a little bit left or right, slow down, and it just went down, and yeah, again 0 points, although I was hoping for a day win.
Yeah, me too.
It's pretty tough.
Would have been nice for now.
Yeah.
But okay. But I love. Well, that's my interpretation on the glider tracking. That you're always searching for an opportunity.
Yep.
It's not really aggression. It's maybe a higher risk level, but always search for the opportunity and never hesitating to jump when you think there's an opportunity.
But yeah, to be honest, it didn't pay off in the last days, and I was also talking to Michael Sommer after the flight, and he also told me it's the third time in a row when you made your final glide too aggressive, Simon, there's something wrong. You have to adapt your risk and or chances. So, yeah, I have to work on that because I really feel like it's different to a normal competition. I feel the pressure in the final glide. I'm full of adrenaline. And yeah, when there's a glider nearby, I always want to overtake him. And in the normal competition, I know quite well, it doesn't matter if you're 1 minute behind or 10 seconds behind.
No.
It's almost the same scoring. And
are you aware of the, in normal competition, really aware of the other competitors? And are you always coping with the pressure?
I have, how to say, a good overview over where the others are when they started this task and stuff like that. So I'm really looking for the other guys. Here in Grand Prix, it's easy because everybody's starting the task at the same time. And when is somebody next to you or just in front of you, you know, you have to catch him.
I asked the same question this morning to Peter. Jens. You're competition leader overall at the moment. Feeling the pressure? You're over halfway now.
Well, there's no pressure to consolidate because anything can happen today. So it's still racing as usual.
Will there be a single cumulus cloud above the Holterberg?
Maybe, well, Holterberg. Could be. Yeah, who knows? You never know.
Enjoy your flight.
Thank you very much.
And François, are you familiar with the Holterberg?
Not. It's my first time flying Interlet this week, so but I've heard many things about it. So I was expecting that it would be good there as well. Yeah.
You know the area. But
yes.
Was it good?
Honestly, I can't remember. I think we could. Yeah, there were some energy lines in the area. But I didn't really have an exciting climb or so.
Because now we had like for 3 months we had half a day of rain. So everything is dry, but normally Holland is wet as the North Sea.
Yeah.
But there's just villages in the water, and then you have the high spots that really stick out in the thermals.
Mm-hmm.
So Terlet is a good spot. We always have like 1.5, 2.5 meters is quite common. But then if you cross the IJssel River, the day is completely different, and then you always try to fly to the Holterberg as soon as possible, because the Holterberg is normally always at least 1 to 1.5 meters better than the entire surrounding. So that was why I asked Peter the question. And was there a cumulus cloud on the Holterberg?
Yeah, there were some traces. I can't remember if they were really big ones. I don't think so, but there were some puffs in the air.
Yeah, we call it waasjes. It's the what is it? It's like you can only see it.
A dome, haze dome.
Haze dome, a waasje. Okay, a waasje. And then I asked. It's a lot about food last days because of Nick his noodles. And let's see what Hadrian does in the morning.
Breakfast. I start with a muesli with yogurt, with orange juice and a cup of tea. And then, of course, the Dutch, they eat chocolate on their bread. I had chocoladehagelslag on my bread. And then after the briefing and during the briefing, coffee with a banana. Dus it should work.
Hadrian, did it work? Where is he? Oh, Hadrian's not here. Okay. Oh, he's in the Tabor meeting, of course. He's going to Tabor this summer. You don't breakfast, you told me.
Exactly, yeah. So my last breakfast was 5 days ago in the restaurant. So to be honest, I'm just lazy. As all the Germans know, I stand up very late, 9:30. Also the guys from the scale, I'm always the last one. And then I go to the briefing, there's a nice coffee, and afterwards I'm already looking forward to the flight, and then I maybe forget something.
So the first meal you have is in the evening?
Yeah, always dinner, and then that's enough.
The first thing you eat is a beer?
Yes.
All right. Well, that's rhythm also. Maybe you should open your canopy so every German pilot can throw something in, like a banana or...
Yeah, but it's the only competition where it's like that. Normally I have a crew with me, and here I'm on my own, and it takes a little bit yeah, it takes a little bit more time than I expected in the morning, and so I have to skip the breakfast always.
I'll ask my girlfriend to make one extra piece of bread. Francois, you're from Belgium.
Yes.
You like to eat. You like to eat.
Maybe not the most representative Belgian.
Oh,
I
okay.
skip breakfast as well, since quite long actually. I have a lunch, but I have a more low carb diet, so I try to at lunch have some protein, some eggs, some vegetables, etc.
During the flight?
No, so that's before the flight, and during the flight I'm more like having a nuts bar and things like this.
The sport bars.
Yeah, exactly.
And then about the 80-meter class, because you just told me before the show that you fly the 29.
Yeah.
All the classes.
No, I
Pretty
flew
much.
open class.
Mostly open class.
But I started competing with the discus, so in Belgian nationals. So I flew that for 10 years maybe. Then about 29 that I replaced with the GS3 that I have now. And I also always had a share in a two-seater. So first a Janussi, then a 32, and now I'm sharing an Arcus 2 with Arnaud de Broqueville, with whom I went to Uvalde last summer.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How nice is that? And then Simon is more of a standard class pilot, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And we both think it's the most pure gliding racing class there is.
No flaps, but already you can fill it up with water. That makes a big difference. And at the time when I started with standard class, I was still pretty young, and it was for me an honor to fly already at the time LS8 or Discus 2A, which felt pretty great. And also the competition itself in standard class was pretty nice, because the differences in between the gliders were almost nothing. So you can also compete with ASW 28, Discus 2, LS8. So there are many gliders also in the clubs. And compared to the club class, when I met the club class in the air, it was already a big difference. And so I loved the possibility to fly under cloud speeds without losing height. And most of the time, or most of the competitions, I was flying standard class. Just a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I changed to 18-meter class, and with the flaps and more possibilities with range and etc., it's even more fun, of course.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I really like the standard class because of purity, and the gliders are so the same. You see, sometimes in other classes you have to use handicap to make them about the same, but then you have in different weather conditions different types work better than others, and now you have the same with the Arcus in the 20-meter two-seater class. That there's always something else to blame than yourself, and in standard class it's always your own fault.
Exactly. Yeah.
And on Grand Prix flying, Francois, did you do Grand Prix before?
No, it's my first one.
Your first Grand Prix?
Yeah.
Do you like the concept?
I love it. I think it was striking in the video that we just heard. The word excitement came a lot, and that's really how it feels. It's excitement. I used to be too aggressive as a pilot when doing competition, so kind of doing very good on some days and then losing completely on some days. So I had to learn to be conservative, and now I think I need to. I was looking forward to do a Grand Prix to kind of turn it around a little bit, be less conservative and a bit more aggressive. So 2 days ago I was too conservative, so I missed the first spot because of that. Then yesterday I was too aggressive, I missed the first spot for that. Today I was hoping to do something in between, but it didn't really work out.
Okay, so I have two very aggressive pilots at my table.
Yeah, Simon is more.
Okay, and then what I find most interesting is the start. I was on the field a couple of days ago, and when you're on the field, it's entirely quiet, and you started at 1400, I believe, quite high for Dutch weather. but 1400 meters. And then what you see is so impressive. The 20 ships almost in one line, departing in one direction. But it's not only what you see, because if you're really quiet, there's it's like a horror movie. It's a really quiet sound
Of the gliders, yeah.
of the gliders, but it's some kind of howling. It's like killing puppies. It's really impressive. The sound coming from straight above, and then with the beautiful. Yeah, I love it. How do you? No, I don't love killing the puppies. But it's so horrendous. The sound is so. It's.
You feel the energy.
It's horror. How do you cope with the start? Because I think when Ronald is counting down, 30 seconds, and then you have to say, okay, so one circle is 20 seconds. I can't do another circle. You have your height, you have the speed, so you have to build up to the starting line. Did you practice it, or did you? How does that go?
No, I didn't practice it. So my first time ever was the training day just before. I completely missed the start. Wrong altitude, wrong speed. So I took mental notes to read the rules again. But actually, I find the start quite relaxed, because I mean, it's not so important if you pass the start line 10 seconds or 20 seconds after, or 50 meters higher or lower. It doesn't make such a difference. I think the final is much more tense. It's time tense, times 10. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw an incredible finish today. Simon, you're starting. Do you like it?
Yeah,
you did a couple of Grand Prix already.
Yeah, if I
final.
remember right, it's maybe already the 5th Grand Prix I take part in, and the starting procedure is you have to pay attention for the other guys, but as he already told you, it's not necessary, especially in the conditions we had in the past few days, to be the first one, because the other guys in back have the more advantage position to see whether it's worth it to take a little off track to the left or to the right. But if you have clouds and the way is clear what you want to fly, it's more or less more important to be exactly at the start gate. And here I had sometimes the impressions the guys were already waiting a little bit not to be the first guy who makes the first failure or mistake on the track. So I just pay attention that everybody is visible for me and nobody's crossing underneath. So
and
that's the most
what
important.
happens if you're too early? Because being too late isn't that big of a mistake. Well, what happens when you're too early?
If I'm right, you get penalty points, but how much I'm not quite sure about that. So
because
I learned
you can't turn around, because there are 19 others.
Yeah, if I remember right the rules, it's not worth to make a turn and try to do a second attempt. If you have a second before the start line opening, just go for it and take the penalty.
Yeah.
And the best way, just forget that you just took a penalty and fly on the best thing you can do. And
did you catch your biggest penalty today?
For sure.
It was a record, huh?
Even in the scoring, it stated 300 seconds, but it was even more.
Okay, there's like a max 300.
Okay.
I don't know.
I just saw it was stated I'm half an hour behind the others with penalties, so it was one of the first here, and so it was half an hour penalty.
And then Francois, this morning I did with Simon, I did some simulator flying. Are you familiar with the Condor 3, the Condor society on the internet, and training in combination with simulators?
A little bit, but not extensively. I have it at home. During COVID, I was getting crazy because we couldn't fly it, so I bought all the equipment to practice a little bit with Condor. It was a version 2 at that moment, but then the kids played more than I did. So now they're also gliding with real gliders.
Yeah, I'm a little bit hooked. Yeah, now when March or April is there, then I want to fly for myself. But when it gets to October, November, then I have to dust off my computer, and then the condo season is coming again. And now the FAI is also organizing really big GP tournaments with qualifiers around the world, and then bigger finals. And I think it's fun. So I took Simon this morning to our simulator. We have it now for half a year, and the first 5 or 6 new members we trained in it. And Simon, what do you think flying our little simulator?
Yeah, it was my first experience in such a simulator where you have all the handles and VR goggles on your head, and it was amazing. So I am more or less a condor kid. I was flying condor soaring a lot with my friends, and then I also met online all the famous names which were a little bit older than me but still junior. Yeah. And I flew so many racing tasks online. Also, good friend Max Schäfer, I met him online during the Condor races, and we learned at that time what it's all about, taking off track to the left or to the right, because Condor version 1 was my version. I flew a lot, and there was no cloud streets and stuff like that, so you had the iPad, the old school navigating system in the cockpit, and had a good impression when it's worth it to take a little off track or not. And now experience the simulator from you here, it's just another dimension. So in my opinion, it's very important also for teaching others how to center the climb, or show them some dangerous situations, and that they can do it on their own, and you can have a look where they are looking into the simulator, because that was the most amazing part on your simulator. When I remember the Condor version 1, I can only switch my view from left to right or up and down. Yeah, and when I had the goggles on, or how is it called? The VR.
Yeah, the VR goggles. Yeah.
I could move my head, and instantly in the simulator the movement of the head was going like I did it in the simulator, and it is unreal feeling.
Simon was sitting, and then he was looking via the goggles to his hands, and it was like, my hands are not moving.
Yeah.
My hands are not working.
Something like this. So it was an amazing experience, and I can only recommend to all other glider pilots here, just go there and try it yourself. And to all the glider pilots out there, during the winter times, it's a good thing to do. It's not only fun, it's a good thing for training and stuff like that. And as you just mentioned, I'm pretty curious that also the FAI was jumping on the new evolution of simulators and stuff like that.
Yeah, they made it a real air sport, so a column underneath the FAI. I want you to think about the tip or the trick. We have 5 tips and tricks already. Next time I'll bring a white pen so we can put it on the table. And if you'd like to think about a tip or a trick, then I'll invite Robin. Oh, zag je aankomen. Pak de eerste maar.
Hier, kom hier, kom hier.
Robin.
Do you want to hear the bad or the good news first?
The good news.
Good
That's
news.
about Saturday.
Saturday will be terrific.
Terrific.
Yeah, really, really good.
Really good.
Yeah, so we're going to be a little bit different than the rules. We're going to make the task a little bit too big, but we can start so early that we still finish on a decent time to do all the things we have to do in the evening.
Okay, then we can stretch it to 3 hours and a bit. So it's really good, maybe 500.
That's a bit too big.
Oh, but you said it would be terrific.
Yeah, but the guys are doing like Saturday, I think 130, 135 average, perhaps even a little bit more.
So
at the end of 350, 60, 70 kilometers.
And about the timing of today, how many minutes?
I thought 2, but we started 5 minutes earlier, so I was 7 minutes wrong. But like Michael and Stefan, we all said the winner should fly with 125 today, and it ended up even being a little bit more.
28.
Yeah.
I believe 128.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, impressive, and that over the rivers.
Yeah. But that was the best part, I think. At least
part.
with clouds. At least with clouds.
Do you know the names of the rivers?
Yeah, the Waal and the Rijn.
There's
and the
one.
IJssel is over there.
No, there's one. There's one in the middle. Oh no, there's the south one. You have the Rijn, the Waal, and the Maas.
Yeah.
There are 3.
Yeah.
And the Rijn is coming.
The Rijn is the northern one.
The northern one.
Yeah.
Through Arnhem.
Exactly.
And then ending up in the North Sea in Rotterdam.
I think so.
And we call Rotterdam the city on the Maas. Okay, thank you, Robin. Yeah, they screwed up the names. I don't know. It is what it is. To the tips and the tricks, François.
Yeah, so we spoke already about goals, and I would like to share my own twist at it. So since I'm doing competition, it's very clear in my head how to set goals for me. So I have constantly in mind. So the first one is safety, because I mean, if you're not safe, you don't end your championship. So you screw it up completely. The second, Michael talked about, it's joy, it's the pleasure of being here with this fantastic community, flying. I love to fly, so it's really important. And the third one is actually the learning and the curiosity. So I love to, in the air, observe what others are doing to learn from it. And I'm really convinced that if you do all this, those 2 things consistently, actually the result will come naturally over time. So adopting a mentality of continuous improvement, step by step.
So the tip is to work on a perfect balance in learning, enjoying, and doing.
Yeah.
Okay, great one. Simon. Simon? Simon.
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 I'm switching all evening.
Easy. I have to admit I had to think about this a little bit, and I often had the question to myself, or I was often asked the question, what is your secret? How do you do it?
Yes, we want to know secrets.
Yeah, but
no breakfast. We know now.
There are several people who always say, you learned it from young age and maybe talent and stuff like that. So I have maybe a boring tip for the youngsters. But in every kind of sport, it's pretty important, and also in gliding, it's very important. And I did it a lot. You have to look in the statistics, in the figures, without doing the comparison not only in the air, so you have to compare yourself also in wheel glide with others, or in soaring sport, and try to analyze your flights in CU, because in the numbers or in the figures you can sometimes see the potential where world-class pilots make the difference, like just having a high average climb. And also what Nick told us, don't take the weak thermals. Yeah. Also try to avoid just the tries, that you only make 1 or 2 circles with sync. And so that's what I did a lot. I looked in the figures or in the statistics, and just tried to optimize every kind of my
so in short is always try to analyze your own flights.
Yeah.
Even it's a short one.
Yeah.
Try different types of thermaling, maybe, and then compare them.
Yeah, gliding is very complex, and you have different situations where different skills are needed, and with the figures or with the statistics afterwards, you can see what world-class pilots do even better. And you have to work on every kind of situation or skill set you need in gliding competition, and that's what I did in the past 10 years. And it's not only flying a lot and talent, so you have to work to get better, and that's also with concentration and analyzing your performance, to be honest.
And Robin, you said I have good news and I have bad news. We only did the good news. Okay, we're out of time. Wishing you all, thanking my guests, wishing you all a good evening. Oh, I have one thing to announce to all the pilots, all the crews, and the crew of the Sailplane Grand Prix. Tomorrow, the Gelderse will host a small national evening in our own clubhouse with bitterballs and frikandel specials and maybe a beer. So tomorrow after the show we'll have one in our clubhouse. And then good night, and tomorrow maybe there will be race day number 6.
Whoa! Yes.